And how do I? There we go. Hey guys, thank you for joining the live stream, the Saturday night live stream about live streaming. I'm not sure. I had a guest that was going to come in tonight and talk about some free to air stuff or from some satellite TV stuff. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to come in tonight, but we'll open up the live the live chat. So with the live chat, you can join in. I'll post the link here in the chat room part, so you can join. You can. What was it? Where they do the "Never Gonna Let You Down." I had that last night. It was great. It was a lot of fun. Throw open the lines, yeah. So. Never Gonna Get You Down. I was watching that this morning, that video, because somebody posted that.
Yeah, that was me. That was Rick something or another. I'd look it up.
Rick. Yeah, it's called. There's a term for that. You've been Rick, whatever his named. And they've done that apparently a lot. Like I remember you seeing YouTube videos where you be real clickbait. You click on it, and like show you a second or two, and it would cut to that video.
It's Rick Astley.
Rick Astley, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what happened before, and it became a thing like around 2008. He has this music video from like the 1980s. Yeah, Rickroll. Patrick says, yeah. It was anyway. Stuff happens. So Jonathan's on there. What was I gonna just go on there? Patrick's on here. So yeah, is it a Rickrolled? Yeah, I was Rickrolled last night, but I was all worried because with YouTube, you'd worry about copyright music material. But I think that's been uploaded to YouTube so many times. I don't know if they would enforce that or not. Hey, Donnie, I guess you were live earlier. And we got North Coaster on tonight. I'll post that link there later on. So we are on from 8:30 to 10:30 tonight. And yeah, so interestingly, what happened to me this morning was I was on our internet. We woke up with no internet at our house. The cable was out. So we don't actually have cable here, but we have our internet comes through the coax cable. So we were without cable for a few hours this morning, had breakfast, and it wasn't working. Sometimes we would have to restart our router. That's a common thing. Something happens to your router, you get it restarted. So my TV antenna still worked. I could have went to the satellite too, but I went to the TV antenna. And what was I watching this morning? Actually, I watched a few episodes of the Partridge Family on FETV, whatever the Lassie channel is over on. What is the thing there? Oh wait, let's respond to this comment here. Let this guy. There we go. Just checking over here on my Facebook here. So yeah, we were without internet, and the kids are used to having internet. So they're not used to like going to the smart TV. They don't know about they don't instinctively go to the antenna to watch like PBS and PBS Kids. They go to YouTube on the smart TV.
When I was a kid, we didn't have no YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. I agree about have something like YouTube. Paul Stringer asks, "Hey Robbie, how come I get CKWS on channel 30, not 11?" Paul asks, "Are you on cable, Paul, or whatever you're on?" I think CKWS is on a few different cable systems. I'll throw up, not throw up it. TV. No, okay, I'll Google search it. When you type it in and you get it wrong, just type in Google or Quant. Okay, start CA. Yeah, because I looked at this one package here in Canada. Throw up my screen. Oh, they had that on. Oh, yeah, I had to restart the whole deal. There you go. I'll have the chat room. So this is a Canadian service, internet service provider. They actually have TV through their cable and their cable provider. So I can get this in my town. I could switch to this guy. And it would give me, but they also have TV. I'm not interested in getting TV, but I'm just looking at what they have for TV. So TV starts at like $50 a month on top of having cable, but you have to get their Fire Stick to make it work with their app. You pay a rent one per month for $150. It seems a little steep for a. And look at the see the channels for the mint. So the interesting thing is the ultimate, which is like $100, or no, that's $90 a month. But then I think that has movie channels and stuff like that. You get all these channels like A&E, Spark, CBC, a bunch of CBCs. It does have CKWS in there. Well, you know what? That's not a huge amount of channels on this 139 channels here. It's not a huge amount. ESPN Classic. If you like old AWA wrestling, I mean, that's pretty cool. But I think people have uploaded a lot of that to YouTube and places like that. Silver screen, other stuff, stuff that you get in cable. Now they have a light package, and then you can get $20 a month, and you get channels that you can get with an antenna. APTN, I guess they're used to be on satellite, but they're not anymore. They used to be on C-band. Yes, TV is available on antenna in Ottawa. So yeah, 40 channels, which is usually antenna channels. So, I mean, it'd be nice if they offered more variety, but it just seems a little bit pricey and then not like the greatest deal for what you get. Yeah, minimize that. There we go. Turn that off. So that's Start TV. I was looking a little bit at that this week. We got Patrick on here. Turn him up. And I got Jonathan McKee from AOL.com. So you guys are on if you want to chime in.
No, by accident. Oh, well.
Patrick, I don't know if they want the camera on, but yeah, so that's Start TV or start.ca. I'm looking more into this right now, but I don't want to switch internet providers right at this time because I need to keep I don't need to be without internet. So that's important that we stay connected. Hopefully, I did a speed test tonight and it was adequate. I think it was like last Saturday. I was really frustrated because the speed test was dropping quite a bit. CP Wolf says you've got mail. And
it's an AOL thing.
Oh yeah, AOL. Yes, yeah. Okay, I forgot about that. That was like from way back in the day in the 90s and stuff. During that time, I was still connecting to the internet with a Commodore 64. So, well, I probably moved over to a 46 or something like that. But I did have a Commodore 64, and that was all text-based. Okay, here we go. Brian asks, hey, Robbie, do you know why it's hard to pick up CHCH here in Niagara Falls, New York? Don't know, which is weird because CHCH is supposed to be like, that's right in the area, right? They're Hamilton, Holton, Niagara. They're a good channel. I think they stream online. You can watch like the morning news show, and they have they're like kind of like MeTV of Canada, the closest thing, but they're like a network, right? But they show, because CHCH was not owned by cable, at least I don't think they are at this time. They're it's not like they're an excessively I don't know. They're not owned by Rogers. They're like one of the few things that I would say that are independent. Looking at somebody's screen here. I think I'm watching Patrick's window here. When I see someone else's window in the chat room here. So I don't know. Maybe it might be in your antenna too, but you should be able to get it. Maybe get a. If you're, I don't know if you have an indoor antenna. It's always good to have an antenna on your roof. Is what I highly recommend for over the air.
Should we point him to the Antenna Man in Pennsylvania?
Yeah. Tyler, the Antenna Man, has a lot of good videos for antenna receptions. Basically, the thing he repeats is don't buy the cheap antennas. I actually saw them in what would be the place? Princess Auto. Well, any kind of store like that will have those cheap antennas. You know what? I bought the antenna crap. Where is the remote for it? I would say this is like on the medium class, but actually this has been a good antenna for me. This is like one of those round disc. It's a directional antenna. It's just like a round disc with plastic around it, but it's done me well. But if something were to die in this, like it has the built-in rotor and all that, I would probably go with a directional UHF Yagi, because most of the channels in my area are on UHF, and I would get a router on it to do it, and probably maybe one of those Televis antennas with all that orange stuff all over it. Those orange Televis antennas would probably be what I would go for if I were to upgrade my TV antenna, and probably get better reception than what I'm currently getting. But I'm actually getting pretty decent reception on my small little UHF antenna that I have on a 30-foot tower. Chris Clips says, to be fair, you barely can get CHCH in Toronto, or at least that is what it was like in the 90s. Yeah, it's interesting, because like I lived in Ottawa, and they had a repeater in Ottawa. Actually, I set up an antenna in Carleton Place, which is just outside of Ottawa, and I was able to pull in CHCH, one of the top, highest up channels. That was like next to the CBC, which was close enough to the tower in Carleton Place, not here in Kingston, but because it's closer to Ottawa, I was able to put up a tower, or put up a masting. I didn't even put up a tower. I just got some old CB radio masting. Don't have the CB radio antenna on it, but I have the masting. Is like it's like pipes that fit into each other. They're not made for pipes, but you can put TV aerial on it. So that's the term. If you're looking for one on eBay for that, I recommend investing in some masting, maybe 2 to 3 pieces of 8-foot masting. And the nice thing about masting, if you don't want to go with a router to move your antenna, the nice thing is you strap the masting to your house, and you can grab it and you can turn the antenna. Now the wind might shift your antenna somewhat, but for years that's how a lot of people would adjust their antenna. They would go outside, adjust their antenna, maybe install it near their window so they can look in at the TV and see the reception on it. And I wish I had a situation where I could have an antenna on masting, but I don't want to put too many antennas up on the house. Okay, Paul Stringer says, when I lived in Toronto in the 60s and 70s, we got CHCH, no problem. Yeah, I mean, I don't ever even got to see CHCH until probably the 90s. It came on in cable because, like, prior to the 90s, right? Um, Actually, the rules were here in Canada, you had to have a transmitter in the area for it to be carried on cable. There was like a weird rule for that. So they had to get a low power transmitter in the area to be able to get CHCH. And then finally came to Ottawa. And I always heard about CHCH because, right, CHCH at one time had SCTV, which would be the most famous program that they would have on CHCH TV out of Hamilton. And they also had the Smith and Smith show, which ended up becoming Steve Smith's the Red Green show. So out of that little TV station, this is when TV stations actually made their own TV shows. And the famous thing that Steve Smith said to the producers over at CHCH, give me enough money to make a show, but don't give me too much money that you care, is when he went to make the Red Green show. So that's why Red Green was able to stay on. He started on CHCH. I think eventually was picked up by CBC, and which was surprising that the CBC picked it up. And then they were on PBS for years when was syndicated throughout, all around the world. And now actually Red Green is actually on Heartland. If you can get Heartland, which is on the Lucan Mux, on, was it 117 or 113 West C band? You need a big dish for that, but you can get Heartland, and they have they'll have that a few sometimes. Mm-hmm. Dan P says, "Oh, I like the Red Green show." Yeah, when the Red Green show would come on, actually, what I would watch when YTV first came to Canada, they would show reruns of that. They would have Smith and, well, not Red Green. This is before it became Red Green. They were showing reruns of Smith and Smith. That would be like Steve Smith and his wife Meringue. They did a show together for years, and they had reruns of that. One of his segments on the show was the Red Green segment. And then eventually the Red Green skit that he did on the variety show with his wife became the show that he would do all the time. And I love that. I even if you watch some of the old Red Green from that era, it's kind of funny funny to see those segments. Okay, so Brian has another comment here. Oh, it might have cut off there because of the when you have a long comment, sometimes it cuts it off. Back in 15, 20 years ago, I picked up CHCH with no problem. But since it's Channel Master, since I bought a Channel Master outdoor antenna back in 2009, it's been only able to pick it up on certain days. My favorite CHCH show was that Tiny Talent, the Tiny Talent show for kids. I think you can see the rest of your comment here if I just move my mouse here. Showing their talents. Yeah, they had like really cool, like, that's what I liked about the old school TV channels, because they had the low budget but locally entertainment shows that you don't see as much anymore. And everything now is like, it's like syndicated. I don't know. It's not like your video shows. It's all these film, high production stuff. North Coaster makes a good comment. YTV, you can't do that on television. I love that as a kid when YTV launched in 1989. So that's when it launched, because I remember when YTV launched, I would go home, watch You Can't Do That on there. Hey, getaftermedia.com, Heartland. Kirk posted a link to where you can watch Heartland live. That's kind of cool. I don't know if I can. I'm not going to post that, but if you want to post that into the other comments there, Kurt, that'd be kind of helpful. Yeah, so you can watch Heartland online. They're probably on their website, like a lot of channels. You can actually watch their content online. Yeah, and what else was on there? See, when YTV first launched, they had Get Smart, and I would videotape every episode of Get Smart because I thought that was a funny show. And what else was on YTV? There was Rock and Talk. I don't know if you remember those days of Rock and Talk with Laurie Hibbard. That was like the music video show from back in the day. And what else was on? There was a Ron Oliver show that was on at nights. They had Red Dwarf on at night, and that's where I saw that. And they had like them something that you didn't see on TV is there's a part of that where Rimmer the guy with the H on his head, the hologram, and the cat, and oh gosh, I can't remember the guy from. He's famous from being on. Anyway, they gave him the finger, and I never saw that on TV back in '89. Right? You'd never see that you'd see that on the movie channel, on First Choice Super Channel. I don't know if it's the movie channel by then. Oh yeah, our local channels used to have local game shows. That would be another thing. One thing that was here in Canada, and I think back when I had like a few of they had like the Game Show Network. It would be a free channel when we had our internet, when they used to not encrypt all the cable channels, and there was Supermarket Sweep, which they do. There's an American version of that, but they were old Canadian version where they raced around the grocery store with the shopping cart, and they had to race at the end. That had a very local look to it, right? And that's why I love. It's not on C-band anymore. It was Game TV. I thought that was a good channel, the old classic Game Show Network. I actually kind of thought that was cool to see. Christine Clips says YTV had Maniac Mansion, and never watched that. That was probably a few years after, and I was not watching it as much. Was that a Disney show? I can't remember. Maniac Mansion. Minister Brandon, why can't people come to my live stream? I won't be doing live streams, I guess. Hey, well, subscribe to Minister Brandon and check out some of his videos, his fish tank stuff. North Coaster says Inspector Gadget was on too. I think it might have been at a time, but I really remember Inspector Gadget being on Global, when Global had good stuff on. If there's a Canadian channel more sadder than CBC, there's Global. Yeah, but they Global used to have cartoons in the morning, right? So I remember in the 80s and early 90s that they'd be cartoons in the morning before going to school. They had Inspector Gadget, Penny in her computer book, and Dr. Claw, gonna get you, Gadget, next time, Gadget, next time. Need a cat here. Where's the mad cat? Yeah, but I love Inspector Gadget. Was a great show. Real Ghostbusters was another one that they would show on early in the morning. Yeah, CP Wolf is explaining to everyone out there who's wondering, what the heck are you talking about, Canadian boy? Canadian boy with that Ottawa Valley accent twang. You can't understand you Canadians at all, eh? YTV is Nick in Canada, and that's what it was. When I went back in the early 90s, I went to Universal Studios, and then they had this Nickelodeon exhibit, and they were talking about it. All the kids were really excited, and I was like, this Canadian, right? And I was like, what's Nickelodeon? I never heard of it. And then I was like, well, you can't do that on television, but not the Canadian version that was made in Ottawa, the CTV version. It was like the a newer, more Americanized version is what I saw. CB Wolf says Teletoon is the Cartoon Network in Canada. Yeah, I guess so. Because I remember when I had cable years ago, we had the free previews had the Teletoon Retro. It's probably rebranded now. They've changed it so many times. Yeah, Teletoon, and then they used to show the other one, which the weird Canadian cartoons that we would watch would be like Hercules with Newton. And it was just, I don't know if you guys in America had that. I'm just going to YouTube it. I'm totally spelling it wrong. Canadian TV show. Here's the log driver. I spelled Hercules completely wrong. With like Newton. There we go. And Deadless. Here's somebody posted it here. It's gonna. And actually, there's somebody posted it off of Teletoon Retro, and there's He-Man. I'm gonna Control plus. There you go. And I'll cut to it here. So yeah, it was basically it looked kind of like this. There's Newton. This is what we watch. I kind of messed this up, I think, as kids. This is what we would watch in Canada. Anyway, enough of that. Really? Dan Pete says the Red Green show is on here in Canada at 9 p.m. That's cool to know. I saw Red Green at the what's the theater here? The Grand Theater here in Kingston. And I was excited to see. I don't want to, I don't care about celebrities, right? Celebrities are people, like I don't. But I wanted to kind of go to his show because it was like I don't even care about live shows too much. But Red Green was like he's kind of special to me. Had a big influence on me, just his comedy and outlook and all that. So I thought it would be kind of cool to see his live show. It was fun to go to, and it was a lot of like Red Green kind of people, my people, that were there. So it made it that much more fun, I guess. It was basically called a lodge meeting, which is like it was kind of fun, right? He did it like he was like hosting a lodge meeting, but it made it really entertaining. Patrick says, is it me or is Robbie lagging on live stream for everyone? I probably am lagging and how live stream works. I'm looking at my preview here on the browser. It looks like my audio is in sync. Maybe I got to do like a big, time stamp for them to get the audio in sync. Kurt says it looks fine to him. So cool. Let me close the private chat. Kevin Duncan. Hey, Kevin would know this. Do you know if Buzzer is still on Galaxy 19 C-band? Jonathan has some phone problems. Some people are saying it's lagging. I guess it all depends on YouTube, right? I was actually watching a live stream earlier. Okay, so over on Restream, it's lagging. I don't know. Some people are watching on Facebook, and I appreciate everyone chats in the YouTube chat room. You can go to YouTube and chat there. It helps because it's monetized there. But if you're on Facebook, and the reason why I put it on Facebook too is I do know some people want it on their phones. They have data plans, and it's not extra data if they're using Facebook. So for a live video to watch on Facebook is cheaper. There's some plans that we have. North Coaster says Inspector Gadget was on CBC in the mid 80s. It could have been. I believe it was made in Canada. It seemed to have that kind of quality about it at that time, but it had the Get Smart actor Don Knotts. Did I say the right actor? There's Don Adams, Don Knotts. There's there's not to get mixed up with the other guy. From Andy Griffith, but the guy from Get Smart. Mm-hmm. Okay. Don Adams. So yeah, Paul, no, he's a classic TV guy, Paul. So yeah, Don Adams. So Don Adams is Maxwell Spark and the voice of Inspector Gadget, the real voice of Inspector Gadget. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Miss me by that much. That's a Get Smart reference. Oh, Maple Leaf actress is Rick rolling me tonight. It's no longer Rick. But hey, you're having fun, Michelle. So cool. Who's on? Leo is on. I'll bring up your audio. Leo didn't really chime in any last night, but so yeah, I did a live stream last night, just kind of impromptu. I said, "Oh, I'll do a live stream next Saturday," and then we talked about things for like 3 hours. I'm not going to go 3 hours tonight. I'm gonna wrap this up at 10. I always say that, but yeah, I was talking for a long time. So if you want to get in and talk, now would be a good time to do that.
You hear me?
Yeah. Hey, Leo. How's it going?
I'm doing all right.
I'm going to bring your audio up a bit. Or get closer to the mic, please. So, Leo, you've been very active on some over-the-air and on my group and other groups I've seen. Getting into free-to-air, getting into over-the-air.
Yes.
And you're down in Texas, right?
Yes. I'm in Houston, Texas.
You're in Houston. Okay, cool.
Did he get hit by the when it froze down there? What was like
Did you get hit? Did you get hit with that snowstorm? Yeah, you did. I remember you talking about that.
The power would go off
Mm-hmm.
in shifts, like 5 hours. The power go off, and then it would come back on, and then the power would go off for another 5 hours.
Oh, okay, yeah. We got a comment from Dave Janke. Robbie, love having you on. My MeWe cord cutters group brings a nice fresh angle to the group. Yes. And if you're not on MeWe, MeWe is another social media network. I would say MeWe is more like Facebook than other groups, if you agree with that. Anyway, it's a good group if you want to sign on there, want to have an alternative to Facebook. So it's kind of a cool place to be. There is a cord cutters group there. And I've posted a few of my videos there about free to air. And encourage people to have that as support something that's not big tech, like support the small guys. Yeah, and you can find me on a bunch of those places. I'm on Gab. I'm on Rumble. I haven't been uploading as much as I should have been on Rumble, but I'm on Rumble. I'm on BitChute. I'm on, you name it. Minds is another smaller site, but what I like about Minds is you can check out some of my videos there because they have a very nice feature for importing some of my older videos. So you might be going through the feed and you might find something that would be an older video, but it will come up that maybe YouTube. You could still find it easily enough on YouTube. You just go type my name in when you do a YouTube search for satellite related stuff. I think that might help because sometimes there is a lot of videos that are not in English because satellite is huge around the world. and there's a ton of videos on about satellite. But yeah, you get a lot of videos that are not English. So so for that, I always encourage people to type in Robbie Strike. That's what I do. People ask me questions all the time. I type my name into YouTube and I type the topic that I'm trying to answer for them so I can send them a video clip. So there's a little trick to know. Dan P has a question here. I'm just trying to decipher what it is. Digicipher? No, decipher. Anyone mentioned about the 2 new channels coming to TV antenna to the States in July? I didn't know about any new channels. I know they're always coming. They're sort of always rebranding different channels. It seems a bit like it's a little bit of a wild, wild west time for all these diginets. And it always tends to be the beginning of the month. It's like July or a quarter of a year. You'll see a new channel come up, and maybe it'll be successful, maybe it won't, and it'll be an over-there channel. It may be on C-band for a while.
One thing I would like to mention, Robbie, is that on 510 in Houston, I don't know what's on 510, channel 510, but whatever it is, it's not on the TV. Like, there's no scheduled programs on there right now. It's the
Okay.
TV show is coming up, but there's no active programming on it.
So it's like just a black screen?
No, it's got their logo in the, I think in the lower right-hand corner,
yes.
but it's not showing anything. And then when you go to their website, their schedule is blank.
Yeah.
A lot of TV channels are like that right now, especially when they're starting up.
Yes, yeah, they'll always be like on a launching in January 1st or July 1st. July 1st seems to be a popular day. Independence Day is when they've launched channels. A lot of Indian videos about C-band, and that's the reason for that. Probably, Patrick, is they use a lot in India. They probably use a lot of C-band in different parts of the world for sure. They use free to air is big all over the world except North America. Yeah. So yeah, caught up here. Yeah. So I talked about TV shows. I thought maybe next time I stream, I will talk about movies. Maybe we can have a fun night just talking about classic movies, or classic from my era, I guess, from the 80s, 70s, and 80s, and somewhat from the 90s. I don't know. That's the movies I know. I don't know the new stuff. I'm getting audio there, Leo. So I'm just going to turn your audio down there, okay? Just sort of wave at me if you want to talk again. Doug Miller says, read all about it. That was a scary show that was Canadian and replayed on PBS. I do remember read all about it. I know I'm singing it. But yeah, I remember that show. If you go to YouTube, you'll see a lot of the old shows on there. Today's Special, that's one thing I talked about with my wife. We both really liked Today's Special, which was with Jack and the Magic Hat, Molly the Mouse, and Jack and Molly the Mouse and Sam Crenshaw, who had like French fries for a mustache. That was a show I watched when I was a kid. Today's Special, shout it loud and clear. And the Polka Dot Door. And the cool thing is my son watches Giselle from Letter Tree, and they still kind of play, it's on TV Ontario. They still kind of play tribute to the Polka Dot Door, where Giselle, they have this animation and it's a polka dot door, and sometimes she has Bear and Marigold on as like sub characters. I guess I don't know if you guys at West or East would know about that, but something we know about here in Ontario. It's like the type of people we that are only celebrities in our region, right? I don't think Mr. Dress Up was all over North America. We're talking about Canadian TV shows. North Coaster, he's Canadian. He grew up in the Ontario area with Fables of the Green Forest. And what was the one Beaver and Moose show? Cucumber Club. A club always shows up on my Facebook feed of the late great John Candy, one of his early appearances on the Cucumber Club, which like had a guy dressed up as a beaver and had a guy dressed up in a moose costume. YouTube it. It's the stuff we used to watch right before CGI and all that. North Coaster says, "You're gonna make me sing, man. I'm gonna lose my audience, but it's Saturday night. There's a voice that keeps on calling me down the road. Thought I'd never be. Every stop I make, I find a new friend. Oh, maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on." Okay, the weird Walter is being possessed in my brain here and making me sing. Let's talk some tech talk here. My favorite TV device is produced from a solid Canadian stellar Tableau Quad DVR. Awesome if I'm a massive fan. It's my main source of over the air. A Tableau. That's what I'm kind of like. Am I gonna get the next HD home run, or am I gonna go Tableau? I believe Tableau has it will be Linux friendly in the way that it's a web interface for your over the air streaming content. I would hope that a Tableau, you could actually probably tell me this, Mr. Dave. Is the Tableau have a web interface where you can, on a computer, on a real computer, not a phone, but on a browser, can you get access to the channels? And that's what I would like about getting an over-the-air tuner device. I'm actually a little worried that the new HD home run won't be as Linux friendly as what I'm used to. But maybe the new HD home run has a web interface as well. For the current HD home run does have a web interface, but I don't think I can actually directly access the channels through the web interface. Maybe I can, but that's what I loved. My HD home run, as you've seen me on this channel before, I cut to my HD home run and I can look at the video signal quality. I need to be sitting in a different posture for doing radio, for doing audio. Okay, we got some people here. Okay, yeah, sure. Thank you, Leo. I'll bring your audio up there. So, Leo, you have things to say about the Tableau?
Yeah, the people were saying, I was asking about overload on about the tuners overloading, and people were telling me about the Tableau and the HD home run, how it works, and they were saying that the Tableau in its way it's built is amplifying the signal of your antenna inside the tuner. So people,
is that good or bad?
It can be good if you have already strong signal. That would be bad if you have a strong signal already.
Yeah, so it can over amplify and cause. Now, can you change that in the Tableau?
I'm not too sure.
I haven't had a Tableau device. If Tableau is watching me, contact me and send me one, and I'll review it. I don't think they will. Silicon Dust didn't seem too interested.
Yeah, I was asking about that to people in the forums because I'm 20 miles away from the towers, and it could be a problem because I have too strong of signals here.
Oh yes. Well, I mean, you can just use a paperclip.
Not necessarily.
Brian says Romper Room, and I do believe that was produced in Montreal. And I remember the reruns of Romper Room were on it became CTV Montreal, but it was, Patrick will probably know this one. The CTV channel in Montreal, CFCF 12. It used to have movies on every night. I used to watch before it became, I think it was independent back in even in the 90s. And it used to be channel 16 that had movies late at night. You set your VCR and record movies. Like, this is what we did back in the 80s, right? We had video stores. We didn't have Netflix. We had video stores. We'd set the VCR to record the movies late at night, and then watch them during the daytime. And then we'd have the commercials in them. I wish I had some of them too. Like Superman would be on, and I would record it and then watch it the Saturday morning. And with VHS, you just hit record, 6 hours, lousy quality. But I didn't know about SLP, SP, and all that stuff back in those days for record speeds. Little's Hobo on before hockey. Yeah, so when I was singing, if you had no idea what I was singing just a minute ago. There was a show called The Little's Hobo. Great show. I love that show. I cry at the end of it. the intro and the exit of that show, man. I love that show. Oh, it was great. Leslie Nielsen made appearances on The Littlest Hobo, and I think Lauren Green might have been on one episode. I'm not sure. Do you think that Canada will ever go sub-channels like here in the U.S.? And just like what I'm talking about, you would think that CBC would have a sub-channel and show, a standard definition. No, they don't have that for that kind of thinking of like, actually doing something smart. But if I ran the CBC, which I should, cut the budget, there's a lot of wasteful stuff going on there, but I would keep the old Canadian archive TV shows, and I would have a sub channel, and I would replay a bunch of those. So I would have Beachcombers replayed. I would start the morning, with Friendly Giant and Mr. Dress Up and Under the Umbrella Tree. Via an app. Now there is, I want to tell you guys, there is a thing called on YouTube, a channel called Encore Plus. If you do a search for Encore Plus, they have a few episodes of Mr. Dress Up, and they have Danger Bay and shows like that were Canadian shows that you can check out. CP Wolf, I knew. You know what? And I used to make fun of Canadian shows. I think those are the crappy shows, like Canadian shows. But actually, now looking back, there were some good shows. Brian, Canada wants us. Paul says to Brian, "Yeah, Canada wants us to pay for TV." See, the thing with Canada is we have a real monopoly. Rogers, Bell are the two big players, and there's not much smaller, between them. They get corporate welfare from the government, even though they're like huge, gigantic, make money hand over fist from subscribers. But yeah, we'll get into that. But it's just, that's why Canada, it's just, we need more independent TV stations, more smaller businesses, smaller media companies that have access to this. And a big company is just thinking everyone's going to pay like $110 for a handful of channels, right? But there's the internet. I mean, that's most Canadians have gone to streaming. Usually in Canada, like at least in areas where you can get internet, they've adopted that stuff probably a little bit faster than Americans in some ways. Yeah. Leonardo says they have 6 big media companies. They still have like some smaller companies that still have. Patrick says that show is so Canadian. I'm trying to think of where I was talking about because we go on different conversations here. what was the most Canadian show? I don't know. Trailer Park Boys is pretty Canadian. It's like Canadians are so polite, and I was like, yeah, but there's Canadians that act like the Trailer Park Boys. Yeah, North Coaster. I agree with that. CBC should have a suite of sub channels. Definitely. See, the thing is, another thing that CBC does wrong, which if the government, when we no, when we get new government in or whatever, and they let me run it, what you do to save money is you have CBC French and English on the same carrier, so it gets that coverage across the country. That's a big value that we have here. And I would have sub channels, but yeah, it was PBS has what, 5 channels? It's 5, their main PBS channels and 5 sub channels.
Yeah, PBS, the main PBS Create, PBS World, there's like 4 or 5.
Brian says, yeah, that's exactly what CHCH was. A superstation, showed movies all night long when I was getting it. Yeah, that's kind of what CHCH had the feel of. They, the cool station when I was growing up was City TV, and I would say CHCH as well were kind of like the kind of cool channels. They would have movies and stuff like that. You stop and watch them, where it all seems like it's all canned. I don't know what the term you would use. But I like CHCH. I actually watch their news a lot, like the morning news show. That would be my go-to. It'd have a loop, be looped all morning, but I would go to that for my for my morning news show for what's going on in Canada. North Coast. The problem in Canada is cable and satellite subscriptions are I don't know, ingrained too deeply. Yeah, I mean, they just have, what? And Canadians are quick, can adapt, right? You give Canadians that are given, I don't want to use a vulgar word, but we're given the short end of the stick. We're given the stinky lunch, and we're told to like it, and we don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Well, okay, here's Paul says, Robbie, can smaller independent stations really survive? And, there is Sunray or Starray. Let me Google it up for you. I talked about that before here on the live stream. Starray TV, that would be it. There's Starray TV in Toronto. I'll pull up the Wikipedia page here. There we go. Okay. So Starray, I believe it's still going, but unfortunately the owner of it, Patrick Pock been there. The owner of it doesn't want to stream online so much. So he has a website, Class Pirate. Now, it's classed as a pirate TV station, but if you read the article here over on he was an amateur radio operator, had to know John Packall, whatever his name is there, Pock Shull or whatever. He has this, and I asked him about putting my YouTube videos on his channel. It's like, you gotta pay money for it. Okay. I was just wondering. I was asking, can I get it on for free? Because I have no money to spend. I think these charges like $500 an hour or whatever. I don't know, for a low power station. And it's like, I'm not gonna pay that. But I like what they have. I wish more people were doing what John Packall is doing here in out of Toronto. He's on. You can get his address and all that here right on Wikipedia. It's a low power broadcast station. It's only one channel, channel 15. In I think it's a UHF channel. It's digital UHF channel 22, virtual channel 15. And he has an interview on YouTube talking about this as well. Check it out. And yeah, he's been having this TV station. I'll go to their website. And hasn't updated his website, but last I checked, he was still on there, but I don't believe it's actually broadcasting. But I think it's kind of a cool concept. I mean, it should be more people like that, right? Having their own business where they run a local community access TV channel where he sells advertising, runs it like a business, you know, and I just think that's like more people should do that. Even community-based TV stations where you get crowdfunded for your community to have, you know, these TV stations. And I guess what he said in his interview, which is a good point, is there's a legitimacy of being on the air compared to being on the internet. You have radio stations that try to be a local station online on the internet, and it doesn't really pick up. Bro Weaver says, are Canadians sad that Prince Philip's passing? I know in Canada, all the land belongs to the Queen. Okay. Well, Queensland and all that, yeah. So I'm not, I don't follow the monarchy too closely. But yeah, it's yeah, keep that low. I guess some people are. Other people, he's 99. You know, he's the only person this year to die of old age, not coronavirus. And so I'm trying to talk here and look at the comments. I'm just gonna skip past here. Probably some good comments I just passed by. Post them again. So I don't know. I had family call my wife today and ask, "Are you watching the funeral?" I'm like, we're busy with kids, so we don't really. I don't even know if it was on our local one Canadian TV channel that we get in this area. Was it on Global today? Jim Cornette. Okay. Well, we got Jim Cornette joining us. Hey, Jim. I don't know if he has his microphone on. It's not everyone comes on and then they have their mic going and all that. Okay, I'm gonna. Did I miss anything, guys? I don't know.
Jim Cornette here.
Jim, what do you say?
You don't like any of the outlaw macho wrestling, do you?
I'm not making you out, man. You're breaking up quite badly.
You're not watching any of the outlaw macho wrestling, are you?
The Outlaw Montreal Wrestling. Is that
macho wrestling? Macho, like bullshit, certainty bullshit. Like these kids.
No, I don't. I haven't seen that. Through a VHS tape, I went so far as that. I don't know, something covered up here. Through VHS, I went so far that it survived. Should arrive at the house soon. What? North Mountain. I threw a VHS that went so far that I think it should arrive. Okay. Sorry, I don't get that. Has Orby TV or whatever, or are they dead? Nope, they just basically shut their doors. Said, "Call Dish Network if you want pay TV. Call Dish Network." Yeah. Basically, I was trying to help people with this an episode a few weeks ago. So I was trying to help people, get free to air. There's not a huge amount of channels you can get with the Orby TV dish. Who asked that? Bro Weaver. And so anyway, I had a lot of people coming in here, and I was telling them to get the new Amico satellite receiver, and explain that in a series of videos I had to explain, you know, you can get a few channels, but you don't get a whole lot with the Orby TV dish. You can get the PBS channels, you can get NBC and Cozy TV, NHK, a few international channels. You can get a bunch of the channels there on Galaxy 19, a lot of religious channels, a lot of Christian channels, a few news channels on satellite, you know, lots of news channels, and PBS over on 87 West, and news feeds and stuff like that. So there's not a huge amount on there. But anyway, some people would buy receivers, take them back because they thought they would get free TV with them. It would like magically work for pay TV subscribers, and then they were like, we were lied to or whatever. Well, no, you weren't lied to. You just didn't do your research. So we had a little bit of that happen recently. Ryan Paz says, "Do you still have the satellite shop?" I don't see the link below. When I do restream, it doesn't let me do as many links as I'd like to, but I believe if you go to freesatellitetv.net, there is a shop there. That page that it's hosting it, it's making it very slow and laggy to update stuff. So if there's anything out of date there, just contact me on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook, Robbie.Strike3 on Facebook, and friend me or send me a message there. You can friend me on MeWe. You can friend me on Gab and places like that. Mike Lindell is starting a new social media network. I might sign up for that. I'm not re-signing up for Parler because I didn't like Parler. Not like the content or anything. I just didn't like how it worked. They wanted you to identify yourself, and then there was all the scares. Well, your identity's out there, and it was hacked and all that. So I was like, no, I'm not doing that sort of stuff. This is my face. This is my name. Obviously, this is who I am. But I'm not giving my identification for BS like that. No, okay. Someone was asking there. It's a good question. Maybe other people can tell them how much it would cost for a satellite system. Now, it can cost you very little, or it can cost you a lot. If you buy used stuff, how you're savvy getting used stuff on Marketplace and stuff like that. There's that. But there's going to be hidden costs too. If you get a dish, you may need a new pole. So you got to go to a scrap metal yard, get the right size pole, long enough, and put that in the ground 3 feet deep below the frost line. You need cable, so you need to buy cable for a free-to-air satellite dish. There'll be extra costs, but I don't think it's like more than like for a C-band dish. If you buy all brand new, which is harder to do now because Tech 2000's gone out of business, C-band dish can be over $1,000. It used to be a couple $1,000 and several $1,000s in today's money to get it installed professionally, get someone come and do it and install it. So it's quite expensive back in those days to get a C-band dish, a large dish. A smaller dish is a lot cheaper. You can do it yourself. This is a do-it-yourself hobby for the most part. So you're going to have some tech savviness to do that. If you're not interested in that, you probably might, if you have good internet, then just go with that. But if you're tech savvy, you want to get just play around with what you can get for free in the skies. It's a great hobby for that. Satellite receivers, which is one of the more expensive things that you're going to get. But yeah, satellite receivers. There's the Amico, which I highly recommend for getting into. It's about, they have a version that's $88. They have the 4K Ultra. Now, you don't necessarily need to go run out right now and buy a 4K receiver. There's not really a whole huge amount of 4K channels. There's one on C-band that I'm able to get, which is the NASA TV channel. You can stream that channel for free anyway. Who knows if they're ever going to really roll out 4K. They're saying with ATSC3, they'll start broadcasting in 4K, but I can see with ATSC3 using that bandwidth to fit more channels on and having higher quality 1080p, and maybe not go for the option of 4K, or they might go with this option of charging. So they'll give you the channel in free 720p, but if you want it in 4K, pay them a subscription for it. Leo, yeah, you're on there, Leo. You want to talk about
Yeah,
ATS?
they said that they're gonna have an on-demand area where you can pay, and then you'll be able to pay for a video. Like, say, let's say you want to watch The Hangovers. Okay, you'll be able to pay for that movie, and it will come right straight to your converter box
Yeah, I don't
through
know
the
how that's going to
internet.
work. It'll be interesting to see how that. I don't know how that will work, but
You're gonna have to have Ethernet hooked up, or some type of Wi-Fi
yeah. And Paul says, I think
in
I threw a
addition
lot of
to the
information
antenna.
there. So I'm sorry about that. Yeah, no, with ATSC3, like there's broadcast internet and things like that that I don't understand. I want to see it rolled out so I can get an idea of what it is. My fear, a lot of Canadians' fear is, are you going to have to be connected to the internet to make it work? That would cut us out.
Well, you don't need no internet initially for the original ATS3, but as for the on-demand and paid over the air, you're gonna need internet.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll have to have something to pay for it, and special type of box. I don't know if they're going to have that built into the TV for the activation of ATSC3, like how your cable box is.
Well, according to what the websites I go to, they got a website called Zapper Box. They're coming out with their own converter box with their own home interface and everything, and they have it where you have to hook up the internet to see the main page.
Mm-hmm. So North Mountain Films asks, can I mount a satellite dish inside the attic? I don't think that would work, just because you would have the wood and shingles blocking the signal. I have experimented with a satellite dish through a window. I've gotten it to work. A certain glass that won't work, another glass that will work. It's kind of interesting with whatever. I don't know what it is. If you Google it, I'm pretty sure you can figure it out. But I remember in my apartment, I would open the window, the satellite dish would work. Close the window, it wouldn't work because I just had it on a tripod and I was playing around with it when I first had my 36-inch dish.
You gotta
So
you gotta use plexiglass.
plexiglass, yeah, okay, yeah. Because I do know some people do get it to work. I covered my satellite dish with a tarp and still got signal. But when it rained on it and water started to build up on the tarp with the tarp covering the satellite dish, that's when signal started to get pixelating, and it didn't like that water on it. Does anyone recommend the FTA receiver called X2? Not familiar with it myself. I know there's a ton of satellite receivers on the market, but not familiar with that one. But some of them, if they're so cheap, it's worth the gamble. Spending $40 just to see if it'll work. If it does work for you, come to our group or come to other groups and just post a picture of it and post that it's working. Just let the rest of us know, eh? No, I must have went down. Oh yeah, Patrick. Patrick, have you done that in a tent? Without too much loss. I should show you that picture. I wonder if it's still on eBay. That portable C-band satellite dish for $200,000. It was funny when I typed in C-band satellite dish into eBay, it came up. It'd be kind of cool though if I discovered that there was dishes on eBay. Yeah, I want to talk to you guys about this. So cut to the here, let's put us in the corner here. There's these dishes which are not pull out. So I think they're just meant to be fixed dishes. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. New messages, just go keep it rolling here. Oh yeah, John Yoder says I have one, not the best receiver. So there you go. There's a recommendation for someone about the X2 receiver. Does Tim Hortons have TV channels? I think they just stream channels on their. They have like a Tim Horton network. So I used to see like they would just be like a like a YouTube video. $49 for a C-band dish. Now, pretty much when you get a C-band dish for something like 2 meters, that's the price you're looking at. You're going to be paying for something brand new, but only if you want to lock on just one satellite. I think it's like this is what you're going to find, right? And I don't believe these are pole mount, so like you can't get an actuator on them. It seems I don't know why they flood the market with these, right? You want like an actuator. There it is. There's the $125,000 cubic gar inflatable CKU band satellite dish antenna VSAT. So check this thing out. All right. So it's a portable C-band satellite dish. It inflates. It's like kind of like a tent, right? There's the LMB up front, and I guess the dish is inside of this dome of this giant beach ball. Wow. I mean, that's special. Yeah. There's actuators on eBay. If anyone needs actuators, that's something. If you do find an old dish, you'll need an actuator. There's these things here. These motor C-band motor controllers. If you have the old type of LMB, what I recommend though, this is $19, and that type of LMB is. It's a broadcaster dish, so it has a transmitter on it. Okay, yeah, it's probably because of that. So it has like a really expensive LMB. I think that's what you're talking about. Because who's gonna what broadcaster is just gonna leave a beach ball on their house, right? Some more actuators. So I recommend though for LMBs, if you do pick up a secondhand dish, you're gonna want to get. I recommend the titanium LMB. That's what I use. I think it's a pretty good LMB. But titanium does not make a CKU band LMB. So you might have to do without having KU band on your dish. Now there is the one CKU band LMB that I do have is a pretty decent LMB. Here's another one of those things. Cut back to the chat room. Sorry, I just went on about that. No, I want to turn this back on. There we go. So, sorry if I missed a few of the comments there. Post it again there, Ray. I don't know what exactly the point you're going. I'm just going to stick down here. Just Control-C, Control-V it back into the chat room. First dish looked interesting. Oh, he's talking about the that part of scrolling. CP Wolf says, I like boxes that have clocks. Like the old VCR that had the flashing 12 o'clock. And yeah, I don't know if they have. I think I did see C-band dishes over on AliExpress. So you could look there and no, I don't think Tech 2000 ever carried them. They carried a different brand. But the reason why I went with a titanium, I would actually have the titanium C2. Titanium C2 has 2 outputs. So for my setup, I have different receivers in different rooms. So that means like 2 coax cables have to run into the house. Yeah, and Tech 2000 doesn't carry them. They're in this. You always get like groups. Satellites are no different, I guess. You get infighting. Between merchants. Yeah, they get their little feuds and stuff. I'm like, I won't mention any companies, but they always badmouth the other merchants because, you know, they're the best. It's like churches. Ministers will badmouth other ministers because they don't preach the Bible the right way, the way I do. Or martial art instructors. They don't teach martial arts the right way like I do. It's like, I'm just going to... Gonna have a drink. Soft drink. I'm not Justin Trudeau. I don't put like 5 or 6 plastic straws to suck Canada dry and then ban plastic straws because I'm a liberal. No.
One thing I would like to say,
yeah, go ahead,
is
please.
that all the technology that's right now, like we recently had the C-band auction, and we have our over the air is limited to 608 megahertz, and companies they don't market the right gains on their equipment. They're using old spectrum that we don't have no more. And that's the companies should change it and give us the correct, accurate numbers for what the spectrum we have in use today.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going off funky here. Yeah. Tony asked a good question. Tony Gloss. What about lightning strikes with satellite? I remember my friend Ted had a big argument with one of my teachers about that. He said wrestling pay-per-view didn't work one night, and lightning hit the satellite. He's like, lightning does not hit a satellite. The satellite's in space. Was my teacher was arguing with Ted. But Tony, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the satellite dish being hit. Yeah, you want to ground it. So put like a copper wire, kind of, just to the mount. The mount is usually the best. Like, that's where I'm saying to do it. I'm not saying I'm right, but that's what I did. Same thing with my TV tower. I got one of those. Antenna Man did a really good video on grounding your antenna. Same thing with satellite. Just put it on the mount. But also your splitters will have little screw-in things where you put in copper wire to ground that. It's a good practice to do that. Get one of those copper ground rods. Get them on eBay. Let's look them up here. Ground rods. What are ground rods? Here we go. $24 for like 4 of them. Here, let's cut to this here, and I'll bring up my screen here. Sorry, I'm missing comments here, but so yeah, you want to get this ground rods. This one, I don't know if I'm looking at the right thing on eBay. This type in ground rods and this type stuff to nail into the ground, and so lightning, if it does hit it, which I hope it doesn't, but it could, it goes to the ground. Burrow Weaver says, we're going to get a little bit into news and what's going on. Are the Mounties shutting down churches in your area? Not to get political, I guess overly political, or maybe we will, whatever. I think we have a stay-at-home order that was happening in Western Canada, not British Columbia, in Calgary, which is kind of funny because Calgary is like like the Bible Belt. It's considered to be the Bible Belt and like the more conservative area of Canada. And they did shut down churches. Like an outdoor meeting, and they went like a riot police or whatever. So, segue to that is, I'm not on here. So in Ontario, they had a lockdown order, and basically the premier made it sound like don't even leave your house unless you have a good reason. I was like, well, can you go for a walk? Like, are we under anyway? So it looked really confusing this morning, like we lost our freedoms, right? But then the police were all saying that they're not going to hand out fines for people going for walks and walking their dogs, which is good on the police, right? Because like it's almost like we don't want to have that, like that much of a controlled lockdown. I understand you want to social distance while you walk around people, but we still have the freedom to go for a walk. Yeah. Jonathan McCase, I hear you mock Trudeau. No, just making a comment that he's a throw that picture up there as the meme of him sucking Canada dry. Just as term I like to use. There we go. That'll load. With his party, the Libercats, as I like to call them, because they're hypocrites, Libercats. Yeah, so there he is with a couple straws that he banned. That's like from a few years ago. Yeah. I don't know one Canuck that likes him. I don't. Jonathan, you like him? You like Trudeau? You vote for him? I don't know. I just I don't. Some people say they just or I don't hate anybody. I just but what would Jesus do? Well, he'd call out people for their hypocrisy. Well, that's not very Christian-like. Well, that's what Jesus did. Oh yes, they banned plastic straws wrapped in paper, giving us paper straws wrapped in plastic. I actually I believe it was Harvey's. They had the paper straws for milkshakes or whatever. I didn't mind that. Like, I don't like I don't like to waste anything, and I kind of agree with the not being wasteful. And also, I don't think it's good to be a hypocrite. Although everyone's been hypocritical at some point in their life, like we'll face that, right? But yeah, now we're in now we're with like probably using more plastic now. Things have to be in plastic bags. You got to wear plastic gloves and.
The governor of California was being real hypocritical. He was saying you can't go to dinner with your family, and we're going to be on lockdown. But yet he went to go to dinner.
Oh yeah, that's been happening with politicians all over. The ones in the areas, and it's just like the hypocrisy, right? Home stores. Oh yeah, Doug Miller says home stores sell them in the electrical department. Yeah, I never saw the grounding rods, and when I hammered mine into the ground, I never saw that done, right? So I just had to look up to see what it was. And grounding blocks are only a few bucks. Yeah, like for you put to your antenna or your post or whatever. I have that on my TV antenna. But then I've read all sorts of different opinions on how you do it. So I was like, I just put it on there. I actually have have it going up above the house.
Yeah, I'm real confused about that because when I was reading on the forums, someone was saying to put it to the house ground.
You can. That's what you could do. Now, my situation is the satellite dish is nowhere near the house ground. Actually, I think I have a couple grounds near there because I also have gas coming in the house, and there's a ground where the gas pipe comes in, right? And you can tap into that if you're close to that. But I have my satellite dish is like out in the middle of the yard, so probably it was best practice just to have shortest line of resistance or whatever. To have it there. Yeah, because you don't want to get a lightning strike. Even when lightning does come, I unplug that stuff, the antennas, the TV stuff. Maybe somebody can explain this to me better. Mhm. But um, I unplug. I try to unplug a bunch of my things when I do it. The interesting thing is, one thing that people don't ever think to unplug is their router and their internet. And the internet modem is connected to an outside wire coming into an outside copper wire, which does tend to get can be struck by lightning. Now, the cable guy actually installed it the right way. He has the splitter, or he had one of those cable blocks, which it looks like I don't have one with me. Just a coax cable connector, which has the outside has a little screw for a copper wire, and then that the copper wire he has going to the water copper line, the water. What's the water? The cold water, not the hot water, the cold water. And I guess that's supposed to, any surge will be grounded to, I'm not an expert on electricity, but that's, yeah, for Canadian. Talked a lot about Canada too. So this is not healthy for you at all, but it's my treat for today. I shouldn't even be promoting this because it's in this area. Coke owns these guys, but I like ginger ale. I wish this drink didn't have as much sugar in it. That's what I wish I could get. I don't even think they have diet ginger ale anymore. I'm reading stuff here. People are rating me. Patrick, there is want ground. In fact, you need real ginger. Yeah, it's not real ginger. I know that. It says it, right? Does it still say that? Yes, it does. False advertising. Made from real ginger. And they had like commercials of that too, eh? Once in a while. All things in moderation, considering the fact I have not had an alcoholic beverage in a couple of years. Maybe I will. I don't know, but I just decided, hey, to focus on things that I want to do in life. I just decided, not to do that. No health benefits toward alcohol. Patrick's back on there. Hey, I'll put you back up there, Patrick. Let's cut off. He's got that ADSL line that's never.
An old webcam from the 90s. Do you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, it's about what you're talking about, the ground wire. There's in fact two kind of ground. You got the utility ground and the ground you can make yourself with the wood, like you told me you bought yourself. And if you want, there's a special plug for the utility that has the two ground. Those are red socket. The red socket one you find in special places are the one who has the ground from the utility that is actually on the cases, and the middle ground you have at the actual slot is the ground that coming from Earth. So normally your computer should and all your set stuff should be grounded directly to Earth without passing through the ground from the utility services, so that you keep your all your equipment from noise and all those things. Because if you use the ground from the utility, you will end up having some problem if you start to transmit. If you don't transmit, if you're only doing the Xing, that's less of a worry. But in fact, we should in fact have an independent ground from the road for all our electronic equipment and the dishes, for sure.
Yeah, that's what Orion is saying here. Is better to use a separate ground in case of there is a strike. Yeah, and I mean, I must have 4 of them now, because I got the main power, I got the gas line, and I got the satellite dish and the TV antenna, all independently grounded. So
the shorter the ground is to ground, actually, will be the one that will be used by the lightning to get to the ground.
Yeah,
to
shortest line of
sure.
resistance. Yeah, for sure.
Hey, Robbie, you know about the 8-bit guy? 8-bit guy. He was a YouTuber on YouTube.
Yes,
I love him.
The 8-bit guy. His name is no, it's like the ACDC guy, same name.
Yeah, he had put a cable from his house to his parents' house, and he fried all this in components.
David Murray. Sorry, I just had to mention 8-bit guy's real name. Love the 8-bit guy. But he had, sorry, what happened to the 8-bit guy?
He had run his Ethernet cable from his house to his parents' house.
Oh,
and he fried all his components when they had a lightning strike.
Oh.
And you don't even need a lightning strike. You can fry its stuff without a lightning strike, in fact, because if there's a difference in the AC from his house to his parent house, the EC will introduce a difference of potential voltage between the two equipment, and that difference will go straight in the internet cable. So you will end up putting voltage inside the internet cable. So you should never hook up any electronic equipment between two utility transformator, So your neighbor, if he is on the same transfer as you will be kind of fine. But if you put an internet cable right to your neighbor that is hooked up to the utility with another transformator, you will end up having big electronical problem. You will fry up all your stuff that way, because you can introduce between both, let's just say 20 volts, maybe 10 volts, but those voltage will end up in the connection between the equipment. Hi, folks.
Yeah. You're a star, Patrick.
I'm the star. I don't want to be the star. I want to communicate some stuff, but
yeah.
So is everyone liking my old cam?
Let's have a drink with Mr.
He's the real star.
There's a star there, yeah.
That's the point. So you should never hook up equipment between two neighbors. Bad idea.
So
really?
It's 2021. You got to go wireless.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, Kurt, that's a good point. Because I thought of doing that. I wanted to wire up my neighbors with my modulator and stuff, but no, Patrick says it's probably not a good idea to do that. Now, wireless with an HD home run, it would be a good idea.
Yeah. If you stay wireless or you put an isolator on all the connection, yes. They do that in hospital, but the isolator on the RG on the cable, on the internet, the Ethernet cable, you can put an isolator on it, some stuff to, but I tried to find this piece of equipment, and I think it went for $200. So it's really for only for hospital. So there's no right way to hook up your neighbor by putting an an internet cable right to his home. That's a bad idea.
Yeah, so Dave Murray, I guess his parents live next to him. I understand the 8-bit guy. He's a smart guy too, right? Like high tech, knowledgeable guy. But I guess his channel makes him enough money to. Well, he does that, but he also has makes video games for like Commodore 64. People buy that, right?
Yes, he made them for VIC-20s and also the old Pet Commodore. And some people will try to. Some people will try to translate his software to Apple II also.
Okay, yeah. We had Apple II in school. As I used to always like to joke about, every classroom had an Apple II.
That was my first computer, in fact. Yeah. Yes,
but no one ever used them.
Only in schools.
Well, you know what? I had software on floppy disks and would bring it. I had the Star Wars game. I had Oregon Trail. Everyone had Oregon Trail. And other games like that I would play on the Apple IIe. And I had the Atari soft. Remember, there used to be Atari games that would be ported to the Apple IIe. And I had I had an Apple IIe clone for a while, and I think I traded it with a friend because I for a while I had that ColecoVision the ColecoVision Atom. I had that for a while, which is a ColecoVision with a word processor and a dot, not a dot matrix, but a letter ball type printer.
Oh yes, that computer was a crap. Oh gosh, one of my friends had this computer back in the day. The printer was so loud, and the tape were actually shot from a long time. There were so much trouble with the tape on this. I think the tape on the ColecoVision was the only computer that used the tape as it was a computer tape from real computers. They were not audio tapes used as a medium for recording the audio so you can get your data, but it was actually digital, I think, like we make with the old computer tapes. So there were too much problem with those computers. I think the tape went out because of magnetic problem from the power supply. So the power supply was always let's say shutting the tape down. So it's a mess of a computer from what I remember.
Oh yeah, I'm just pulling up Cozy TV's schedule, TV listings. Someone was asking me in Facebook about Cozy TV. I don't know if I can see these listings. Get Cozy TV shows. Oh, there's a PDF of the schedule. Okay, I gotta get the PDF. There you go. Murder, She Wrote. That's on all the time. Murder, She Wrote. Whenever I watch it, it's like Murder, She Wrote. Right? It's like, but that's on KU band, and it has all the old school classic TV channels. How do I get this split screened here?
The Bionic Woman. Wow.
Bionic Woman. Yeah, they got
old times.
$6 million man, but they only show that like for an hour because it's an hour-long show. Now, could we just get Cozy TV, maybe show Murder, She Wrote once and show $6 Million Man with Steve Austin? The original Steve Austin?
Oh,
Steve Austin was a fan of this show, so that's why he named himself after. Emergency, I've discovered this show, and I actually like that show, Emergency.
Is Emergency the show that was on the video I showed on your website with the old dish and stuff? Because there were maybe that. But from what I remember, all those shows are quite old. We should have some shows from the 90s, because I do remember the Canadian show was called ENG. Do you remember about ENG?
I may have seen that. It's I'm getting yeah.
It's a newsroom with a lot of
Oh,
actors.
ENG. Yes, I remember ENG. Yes, now you're talking about it. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. And Street Legal was another Canadian show. They have Highway to Heaven, Little House on the Prairie, The Munsters, a lot of primetime. They have Frasier, Roseanne, and Nanny, Will, and Grace. See, I think their primetime lineup is a big reason why I don't watch Cozy TV. Not really interested in a lot of these shows, but I think it's like their weekend lineup. Saturday, here we go. So Saturday they have My Favorite Martian, which I think that would be an interesting show. Saturday, Sunday, okay, yeah. So early in the morning they have. So tomorrow morning I could watch My Favorite Martian starting up in the morning.
From a programmer standpoint, I will tell you that it's quite a lazy lineup.
Yeah, it's not like see Quantum Leap that's what I'm looking for in all this is Quantum Leap, right? Saturday they have a lot of more Starsky and Hutch, Charlie's Angels, Emergency Again, and they have Columbo, the Columbo movie. They show $6 Million Man a few times, and I guess they don't have Quantum Leap anymore on this schedule. It used to be on.
I'll wait till they have The Office.
They have The Office, yeah. Like they have a lot of, and somebody might like these shows. I'm just.
Quantum Leap is on Comet TV.
Comet TV? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yes. So yeah, Sinclair has the rights. Comet TV, Sinclair Broadcasting has the rights to it right now, and that will be a thing that will happen to TV channels. Is Leave It to Beaver, which was on MeTV, for a while went to Antenna TV. And Antenna TV had the rights to Leave It to Beaver, but now Leave It to Beaver is back on MeTV. That's a show I watch. I mean, it's on in the mornings. It's like the whole family can watch that show, right? I was just curious about that because I was talking to some people about Cozy TV and how it's on saddle, it's on KU band and all that, but it's just the lineup doesn't overly.
Someone asked in the chat room which satellite. It's 103 West KU band.
Yeah, it's on 103 West. Yeah,
wasn't it on C-band before?
It still is actually. 105 C-band has like the same sort of NBC with Cozy TV because I guess Cozy is NBC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a lot of these channels.
It's on the M3U playlist I posted today in the Facebook group.
It's on what?
It's on the M3U playlist that I posted this morning on the Facebook group.
Cozy TV is or Comic?
Yeah, Cozy TV and Positive TV.
Yeah. Oh yeah. A lot of the playlists actually do have a lot of the Diginets on there as well. If you want to go that route. Now, if you're able to get it all over the air, it's just easy. I mean, I get Antenna TV. I think I like a lot of the rerun shows on there. I was watching Different Strokes today. They had the Hogan Family on Antenna TV, and I had it on. What was the other one? FE TV. FE TV is on C-band.
So there's a lot of people who tend to watch those old shows.
I like the old shows. I mean, I don't know. That's what I would be.
That's why you like C-band. Like I saw one of my friends likes Spanish stuff, so everyone has a reason to use C-band.
Yeah. There's C-band has a lot of the Diginets. Like this is another Diginet schedule. Here we go with the schedule. Might download a PDF or just have it on there. Oh, it's huge text. There's the Saint and Perry Mason, Matt Locke, the Lone Ranger. I think I tuned it in this morning and saw the Lone Ranger. I should probably swing my dish over to it's on 99 right now, and I decided on there for a little bit just to because I haven't been on 99 in a while. But I should probably move it over to 101 West, and I probably, especially on the weekends, I would enjoy the Heroes and Icons, and Decades is another good channel.
Actually, what was Lone Ranger? I didn't know about this show.
No,
No, because maybe I was not speaking English at that time, but
no. Here it is. Here's a picture of it. It's basically, it's got the Lone Ranger, like very old from the 1950s,
okay,
with the mask, and then Kato, the Indian sidekick.
kind of classical for my father, maybe.
Yeah, you know what? The cool thing is, I showed my dad, and he's senior citizen. He's an elderly. He's from that era. Like, he's from the black and white era. It's kind of cool talking with him, because he would talk to me about like how they had they didn't have routers in those days. He was the one who told me people just took like the TV antenna, who went outside and moved the antenna, with the pole attached to the house, and pointed it. And they used to get like Channel 7 out of Watertown out from Arm Prayer. So that's pretty far. That's a pretty far reach. They get that long range with TV.
Yeah, I think the actuator for the antenna came from the 70s.
Lamont corrected me there, and I appreciate that. Tonto? I don't know if I pronounced it right. Not Kato. Kato is from.
That's correct.
Kato is from. I'm thinking of Green Hornet with Bruce Lee. I believe he was Kato. Yeah. Kevin has made a TV guide on. There also is a website. Let me pull it up here. FTA listings. If I can find it here, we'll search it. I don't like the term FTA. I think I would kind of. I prefer the term free satellite TV, just mainly because it's what's legal, not like free to air. Unfortunately, has been perverted by people associating with piracy. So this website is FTA listing. So if you're watching free to air, this is a great resource for that. It has a lot of the C-band channels. I'll tell you what movies are on. Naked Gun 33 and the Third is on AMG. AMG shows a lot of good movies. Movies during the daytime too. I like the AMG network. You can actually stream the AMG network. No one really talks about the AMG network, or you never hear about it, but it's on C-band. It's been on C-band for years. It's one of those few independent networks. It's on as a sub-channel in various areas throughout the states.
Never heard of it.
Oh, really? Have you tuned it on your C-band dish?
I should. On which chat is it?
It's on 97 West C-band. I wish it was on 97 West KU band, because it would be a killer app channel.
Yeah,
on KU band. I wish they were. I wrote them before. I rate them all, right, in comments and stuff like that, and send them emails. I wish you were on C band. Bloomberg Television. I didn't even realize Bloomberg was in Declare. BYU shows a lot of movies and stuff like that too. And they have good shows on BYU. People might think, well, that's like a Mormon channel or whatever, but no, they have a programming there.
What's CGT and the old CCTV?
Those are the Chinese news networks, like used to be CCTV.
Yes, that was so funny, CCTV. They call it CCTV. That's actually quite true, in fact.
Yeah. There's classic art showcase. And sometimes the channels will have, they'll have the channel, but it won't have, it's kind of like free to air, because with free to air, C band and KU band, there's no EPG guide, right? Now someone will say, yeah, there is on DW. Yeah, great, DW, but I never watched DW.
Court TV and mystery are quite good somehow if you like the genre.
Oh yeah, I think it's I have talked to people and they say that's what they like to watch. So it's good that we got it on free to air. CTV. Now, see, I'm Canadian. I'm like, oh, okay, CTV again. But a lot of people, Americans, like the CTV channels that are in the clear.
Get to watch Canadian's Worst Driver.
Exactly, Canadian's Worst Driver and
Drivers. I'm sorry, or something like that.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. Yeah. What I like about CTV or the CTV Mux is, which I'm so surprised that it's in the clear and it's on C band, because Bell owns CBC or CTV. but it's there, right? And it's some movies on it. Mr. Mean Queen 2018.
Uh,
You know,
who is
lots of
it's owned by who? CTV?
CTV is owned by Bell.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
CTV's Bell owns a bunch of them. Like if you go
Global too, I think, isn't it?
Global's owned by Chorus.
Chorus. Okay.
Yeah, which is now people are like get mad at me when I say it's owned by Shaw, but the Shaw family, that's the family that started Shaw Cable and all that, are like have stakes in Chorus Entertainment. So yeah, anyway, same family, same groups, There's Dabble, DW. These are. I have a hard time getting this stuff, but I used to watch it, the Family Channel. I wish they were back on KU band. That's a good channel, but it's always like on the C band frequency. That's a pain in the butt to get with the Lucan Mucks and with the InfoWars channel. It's just always a pain to get those.
Will you say that you have less channel with your 6-foot dish than me with my 10-foot dish, even if I'm far away?
Rob, your dish is 6 foot?
I have an 8-footer.
Oh,
okay.
8-footer. 8-footer,
okay.
yes. That's my mistake. I wonder if you can get with your 8-footer. Can you get the South American channel?
I can get like on 113 and 118 and stuff like that. I get some of them, and on 55 West, I get a few of the South American channels. But it all depends on which ones, right? I get the channels that are from Mexico with the Lucha Libre wrestling, not AAA, but the LL whatever wrestling promotion is it's a Spanish channel, but
yeah, and most of them are also Power View, so we can watch them, unfortunately.
And there's a movie channel. There's Positive TV, and some would say, well, this is a Christian movie channel. They're not interested, but they actually do have a lot of movies that are more like a Hollywood family movies on there. So I'd say check it out. Positive TV is also on C-band over at 125 West, but they're also on Galaxy 19. So there's a movie channel on Galaxy 19. It's a pretty decent one too.
So it's Christian television, Posi TV?
It's I wonder if I can open this in a new tab.
Because this is positive, so maybe they have
they have like some Christian movies, and then they have some Hollywood type movies, a little bit of a mix, but they do have like the very low budget Christian movies where and I'd be the type of person I would probably like do production and make a Christian movie, but I wouldn't make it like the way I've seen a lot of Christian movies where they're very slow in dialogue, right? And as they're trying to push their message or whatever, but they're just not doing it in the best way, where there's been other movies that have had a good positive moral message and it's been delivered really well, but these are low budget movies and it could be the filmmaker's first time doing it. You need someone like Patrick to re-edit it, so make it more
maybe
make it more just because I don't know, I find that sometimes they're slow paced, like they're supposed to.
Yeah, but I'm agnostic, so I'm gonna go crazy on those movies.
Yeah.
Editing those movies will put me in a bad mood.
But I mean, I just find that they're slow paced. Some of the ones I've seen, and
the slow pacing is quite useful. It's way cheaper to make a movie that way.
You can cut the movie down to like, I don't know, an hour or whatever. I don't know. Reels. Is Reels still available? I haven't swung there. And I thought Reels was starting to show movies again. Because what happened back in the day is Reels would have movies on all the time, but now it's like entertainment shows.
When was it? Back in the day?
Okay, a few years ago.
Okay. Because I remember them, but I don't know if they're Power View or not anymore. Maybe that's the problem.
I think they're still clear. Someone says movies. I don't know if movies is still on 101 West. Every time I put it on, it's like an old black and white movie that doesn't interest me, but they would have like the Explorers or the Santa Claus. It was owned by who owns movies? Is it Fox? No, MGM. I think it's like a lot of MGM stuff. Your Start TV. There's this TV, True Crime Network, another crime network, and there's
There's false
NBC and
crime
Divergent.
network also.
What's that?
There's false crime too.
Yeah.
Old joke. Sorry. Bad
Pursuit.
joke.
And anyway, the website is ftalistings.com if you want to look at the EPG guide or the TV guide for the channels. It doesn't say here what satellites they're on, but if you know where to look, you know where your channels are on the satellite. It's kind of like TV guide of I don't know, back in the 80s, right? Where before we had the EPG guide on the TV, and you get all the get everything that you would want to watch.
But it's not free to air; it's free to receive.
Yeah, free satellite TV. The term I like to use for that.
Everyone is using the FTA acronym. You don't like it?
What's that?
You don't like the FTA denomination? You don't like to talk about free to air? It's not your word?
I don't like the term just because it's heavily associated with the piracy stuff.
Oh, okay.
And just for me, for a liable stance, right? I don't want to be seen as promoting the piracy or the hacking part of it, right?
So the opposite is also piracy. So because FTA, it's everything but piracy. There's nothing piracy in FTA. In fact, it's free to air.
Yeah,
so
it's free. Yeah, but the term FTA and free to air, I mean, back in 2006, I guess would be a good year to point at.
Okay.
You would get these computer stores, a lot of computer stores, and they would have the ViewSats and the Sonic Views and the CoolSat satellite receivers, and they would advertise it as free to air, but it was like, getting Dish Network for nothing. So that was like kind of it's free to air, right? And that's how it kind of got perverted.
I get it. Okay. It's free for you, but the content is not free. Okay.
Yeah. It's basically, yeah. So, now that's that's a whole history. That satellites always been that way, I guess, since they started encrypting because of the C-band, the video cipher stuff. There's videos on YouTube you can find where they talk about how they would put a chip in there so they can get the HBO for free and all that, and then all that stuff, which I avoid talking about a lot of the time just because I don't want to be promoting this stuff, Yeah, and I do get people ask me about it, and I say, I'm sorry, I don't help people on that end. What I do help people is if you want to get a satellite dish going, you want to get some of the free content, go for that. But I'm not going to be promoting hacking or piracy or anything like that.
But everything is more on the history side of things now because it's not much possible nowadays. So everything, nothing is relevant anymore. It's all historical somehow.
If you want to watch all the cable TV channels, you can watch it on a streaming. One of those, you jailbreak your Amazon Fire Stick or whatever. It's that type of stuff. But I don't promote that either. It's like, I find there's a lot of free content that you can stream. You go on YouTube, you can find news channels that are paid cable news channels, but they have a lot of their content is online for free.
Yeah, the fact is, C-band stuff it's useful for something like called serendipity effect because the fun of it is just to browse the channel, to find something you were not expecting. You can do that on most channel when you have a lot of channel and you do that. But if you want a show in particular, if you need a show to watch a specific show, I will say just download it. it's C-band is not in the FTA. It's not aimed at piracy anymore, for at least for me.
Yeah, it's I'm just trying to look at how many people do we have on tonight anyway. 20. Okay, yeah, it doesn't show me the graphic for that. I have 4 people on Facebook, 25 people on YouTube. So that's cool. I don't know many people watch. It'll tell me the stats when I close this video, which I'm gonna do right now.
Yeah, you're 30 minutes late.
I'm 30 minutes late. That's fine, as long as I'm not in bed at like 4 o'clock. Or what was it last night? It's like 12:30 when I went to bed because I get wound up when I do this. Plus, having a sugar-filled Canada Dry
In a beer buck.
So I don't know when my next stream will be. I haven't planned that far yet, but I think I'll post it now. If you guys follow me over on Facebook, follow my Facebook page, robbiestrike.com, and I'll schedule an event like what I did tonight. Maybe that's how a lot of people found me. If you're on Facebook, I also posted here on YouTube, so you can just go to YouTube and you'll see it come up if you're subscribed. So please subscribe. I know it's like everyone, all the video creators beg, please subscribe and like and all that crap.
Hey, Robbie.
Do all that crap and tell your friends. Word of mouth would really help. Oh yeah, my PayPal donate. Not, if you want to donate, I fixed that link. I probably just put it in wrong. So I think I have it in the right way now. I corrected that. I do make mistakes. I admit to that. I own up to that. So, so I fixed that. And, but I appreciate people letting me know if there's a dead link somewhere on a video or on my page, because it will help me just go correct it. I'm not finding all my thousands of links and testing them all the time. Okay,
hey, Robbie.
Hey, yeah, Kurt, how's it going?
Yeah, one last. That Starray TV, it had me. I went to the site, and when I went to watch it, I downloaded an application, an app for Windows, and it shows me something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it still TV Ants?
Yeah, that's it. TV Ants. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't work in Linux. I tried using it years ago. What are you using like Windows 10?
Well, yeah, this is a different laptop I'm on. Yes, it's a Windows 10 app. Yep.
Okay. I'd like to see it, and I just didn't want to install the program. Is it a safe program in your opinion to install?
It seemed okay. I mean, I just did it while we were on this.
And you just clicked on the install and it worked? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's TV Ants is the program, and I think you can get it working in Wine or in Linux, because I know you use Ubuntu, right?
Yeah, my other laptop, Ubuntu 2004.
Yeah. So I'll have to check it out sometime. You should stream it to me. Somebody needs to figure out with an M3U playlist to add was it Sunray or Starray?
Starray.
Starray.
I'll turn it on now. Here, I got it. I'll roll it up.
There's a.
That's that.
Where's your? Yeah. Anyway, I'll close this up and I'll look at that there for a few minutes before I'm done talking here. I just don't want them to show any copyrighted material or something.
That's
YouTube.
Okay.
Especially if they have like the music or whatever. I don't know. You never know. Certain things they'll let go, and technically, if you sample it, and you're only, there's the fairness doctrine. But I don't want to tread on that because I know people follow the fairness doctrine. They still get dinged. So I just have tried to avoid using any copyrighted footage and audio. Anyway, so guys, so stay tuned to my Facebook page. I'm on MeWe and Gab and all those guys too. I never post on Gab, but I guess I should now since I plugged that for the next live stream. RobbieStrike.com, which is my Facebook page. You can find me there, and that's usually where I'll schedule the event and I'll post it out there. Obviously here on YouTube. You can find me there as well whenever I do my next live stream. I'll try to put it out a few days before when I'm going to stream, because I'm not regularly. I probably will go back to doing Saturday night. Maybe I will do it again next Saturday. But there's a few things going on right now at the house that I'm not sure. So I'll stay tuned, and I'll let you know when I'm going to stream next. So thanks so much for you guys watching and participating and your input. I think we all learn from each other a lot through this, and I think this has been a great experience for me, and I really appreciate you guys for participating. So have a great night to Kurt and to Patrick and to Leonardo, who voiced in tonight, and Michelle, who's posting Never Gonna Let You Down, or she's playing Never Gonna Let You Down all the time here. Thank you for trying to troll me. I appreciate that. It makes me don't feel like I've made it unless I get a troll. So that's really cool. All right, have a great night, and over and out.